The wind carried the scent of rain and gunpowder that morning. Out on the edge of Dustwater Valley, the sky was painted with streaks of gold, and the land stretched for miles, quiet, except for the restless neighing of horses and the creak of an old wooden gate. Ethan Cole, the rancher of the Iron Creek Ranch, rode through the mist with a look that could carve stone. He wasn't a man of many words, but every inch of him spoke of hard years, battles fought, love lost, and dreams buried under the dry soil of the West. His land was his pride, his pain and his prison. But that morning he found something, or rather, someone, he wasn't expecting. She was sitting by the broken fence near the creek, her clothes torn, her face streaked with dust, her hands trembling as she tried to stand. She looked up, and for a moment, time itself forgot to move. Her eyes gray as storm clouds met his. Ethan dismounted slowly, his boots crunching against the dry ground. "You lost?" he asked, voice low, cautious. She smiled faintly, though her lips were trembling. "Depends on who's asking," she said, her tone sharp but fragile, like a blade on the edge of breaking. He noticed the bruises on her wrists, the faint marks of rope. Trouble, he thought immediately, the kind that didn't come quietly. "Name?" he asked. She hesitated. "Lydia, that was all. No surname, no story." But the silence that followed told him more than words could. Ethan offered his canteen. "You look like you could use a place to rest." She shook her head. "I don't need saving," he chuckled lightly. "Good, I'm not saving anyone. Just offering a drink." She took the water, and for a fleeting second, he saw something soft beneath her guarded expression. Fear, exhaustion, and a strange kind of sorrow that only those who've seen too much can carry. By noon she was on the ranch, helping the cook, staying silent, always glancing toward the horizon as if expecting ghosts to ride out of the dust. Ethan didn't ask questions, not at first, but he watched. And every time the wind brushed through her hair, he felt something he hadn't in years, an ache that wasn't pain, but the memory of it. That night, as the rain finally came, Lydia stood outside the barn, eyes closed, letting the drops fall on her face. Ethan approached, hat in hand. "You should get inside," he said softly. She didn't move. "You shouldn't have brought me here," she whispered. "Men will come looking for me." He stepped closer, his voice calm. "Then they'll find me waiting." She turned, anger flashing in her eyes. "You don't know what you're getting into, rancher." He smiled faintly, rain dripping from his brim. "Maybe not, but I know when something's worth fighting for." She stared at him, this man of the land, weathered but unwavering, and for the first time in years, she felt something unfamiliar. Safety. She whispered almost to herself, "You'll regret choosing me." Ethan looked at her, his eyes soft but steady. "I already regret waiting this long." The thunder rolled across the sky, and between its echoes, something silent yet undeniable began to bloom. Two broken souls standing in the rain, daring fate to do its worst. Morning came with gunfire. Ethan had known it would. 3 riders thundered into the valley, dust and hate trailing behind them. Lydia froze at the sound. She knew those horses, that rhythm. Her past had come calling. Ethan grabbed his rifle and stepped out of the barn, calm as the eye of a storm. "Stay inside," he told her. "They're not here for you," she said shakily. "They're here because of me." He turned, his gaze steady. "Then they'll have to go through me." The men rode closer, faces hard, hands resting on their holsters. The leader, a scarred outlaw named Brig Mason, sneered as he saw Lydia in the doorway. "Thought you could run forever, girl," he barked. She trembled but stood tall. "I'm not running anymore." Ethan stepped forward, his rifle glinting in the sun. "You boys lost something?" he asked, voice calm, low, and dangerous. Brig spat in the dirt. "That woman belongs to us." Ethan's smile was thin, cold. "Not today, she doesn't." The standoff was electric, the air thick with tension. Lydia's heart pounded as thunderclouds gathered once more. Brig reached for his gun, but Ethan was faster. A single shot echoed through the valley, and Brig's weapon spun from his hand. The others froze. "Next one won't miss," Ethan warned. "You got 3 seconds to ride out of my land." The men hesitated, then turned their horses, muttering curses as they disappeared over the ridge. The valley went quiet again, only the wind whispering through the grass. Lydia ran to Ethan, tears streaming down her face. "You didn't have to do that," she said. He smiled faintly, wiping dust from his brow. "Yeah, I did." She looked at him, eyes shimmering. "Why?" He paused, looking at her as if seeing the rest of his life right there in front of him. Because I've been alone too damn long, Lydia. And if loving you is a mistake, it's one I'll gladly make again. She fell into his arms, her heart finally letting go of the fear it had carried for years. The storm broke again, pouring down on them like a baptism. The ranch, once silent and lonely, now echoed with laughter, with life, with something that could only be called hope. Weeks later, the valley bloomed with green again. Lydia worked the fields beside Ethan, the past fading behind her like dust in the wind. Every evening as the sun set behind the hills, she'd whisper, "You'll regret choosing me," half teasing, half afraid. And every time Ethan would smile that same unshakable smile and say, "I already regret waiting this long." The camera pans out, the ranch standing proud under the golden sky, two figures walking hand in hand, the sound of horses and laughter echoing through the valley. Love had come to Iron Creek, not gentle, not easy, but real.